Welcome back. As I sought to discover how to live a joyful life, I made a pretty horrendous discovery about myself, and I'll bet it's true of many of you as well. As much as I say I want to become more joyful, I actively sabotage it in myself and in others. Instead of cultivating heart responses that allow me to shine like a star on a dark night, I work overtime at beating down any little hints of joy that might start to blossom. But I don't want to do that anymore. Instead of being a joy killer, I want to be a joy builder. I want to fill myself with joy and fill others' lives with joy. So how can you and I cultivate a heart response that allows joy to build inside of us? First, I can fill my life with joy when I focus on grace rather than keeping rules. For those of you for whom a rule is nothing more than something to be broken, this may sound like a piece of cake. But this is really hard for me because I am a dyed-in-the-wool rule follower. I love rules. Rules keep me safe. They make life manageable. They provide a pathway in every situation. But I really should clarify because I like the rules that I make, not necessarily your rules. My rules make sense. Yours probably don't. What a hypocrite I can be. But God uses the entire book of Galatians to teach us that rules in and of themselves cannot give us life or joy. Galatians 5:1 says, "Rule-keeping does not naturally evolve into living by faith, but only perpetuates itself in more and more rule-keeping." Galatians 3:21 says, "For if any kind of rule-keeping had power to create life in us, we would certainly have gotten it by now." I lived most of my young adult life as a Christian desperately trying to keep all the rules. Although I didn't say it aloud, in my heart, I was convinced that God would bless me more, love me more, if I kept all the rules. The problem that I discovered was that every group of believers had their own interpretation of what the rules should be, and I found myself weary and frustrated and disappointed in my ability to do it all right. I didn't understand grace. Grace is the face that God wears when He meets my sin, my weakness, and my imperfection. Grace is possible only because of what Jesus did for me and for you. In Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4, it says this, "For He chose us in Him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in His sight." I want to share with you an illustration that has meant the most to me in understanding grace probably of anything I've ever learned in my entire life. Let's just pretend that this piece of paper represents your life, my life too. And this is kind of what happens to our lives. We make some messes. We get into trouble. We make some poor decisions. We hurt other people. And before long, if you look at your life, there's a lot of tears and messes and broken places. But here's what God does. He takes us with our brokenness and our messes. And the Bible says, as I just read to you, He puts us in Christ. He puts you and me with our brokenness, our mistakes, our errors, and He puts us, let's just say this represents Christ, He puts us in Christ. And now when you look at this Bible that's representing Jesus, you can't see that piece of paper. You can't see it anywhere. It's because it's hidden in here. And that's what He does with us. He takes our lives and He puts us with all the brokenness, with all the messes, all the failures, all the mistakes, all the sins, all the things that we would just die 1,000 deaths if anybody really knew what we had done. And He takes us and He puts us in Christ. And so then now when God looks at me and He looks at you, He doesn't see that broken piece of that torn up paper that was my life. He sees me in Jesus. And that means He sees me righteous and He sees me whole. That's what grace is. And once you understand grace, you're going to understand joy. I'll see you tomorrow.